Hey friends, I'm Chronically Jenni and this is my lovely support worker and friend Beth. And today we have decided to watch some of my oldest videos. I'm a little bit nervous because Beth has never really seen any of my YouTube stuff before, let alone the very, very early stuff, because we only met in 2021. So I think this is going to be just as hilarious for me as it is for you.
I'm excited.
Okay. So, first up, we're going to watch... It's called My First Vlog, but it wasn't a vlog. It was just a video of me kind of introducing myself that is now 8 years old. Yeah, so get ready for...
Wait, so how old?
Baby Jenni. I was just 21.
Okay.
Yeah. I was relatively newly 21. This is at my mum's house and it features my natural hair colour. Apologies to everyone who I've not corrected when they've called me a natural ginger recently. Here's the truth. This is a very professional intro coming up.
I can't wait. I can't wait. 6 minutes.
It wasn't a long first video.
Just a little snippet.
I didn't used to talk as much as I do now.
Okay, music.
Most of the time, you will find me like this. In my PJs, watching telly, normally Ellen. Hair back, little tuft on show from my operation in November.
It's still true.
And not doing very much. But hey, that's what it's like to live with a chronic illness. But I tend to not get dressed very much.
That's not
Still true.
That's not changed at all.
Maybe I should. Hi guys, my name's Jenni and I write a blog called Invisible Girl. This is my first vlog and
I wasn't even called Chronically Jenni at this point. And I'd chosen Invisible Girl, but Invisible Girl was not available anywhere.
Right.
So it was like one N visible, but with a 3 as the E.
I'm with you.
And then girl Jenni. Like it was like 1 invisible 3 girl Jenni.
Wow.
So I'm really glad we changed that pretty quickly.
That'd have been difficult to find on the socials.
Yeah.
wanted to let you know a little bit about me and why I wanted to do this. So basically, I started my blog last year after I was diagnosed with a couple of long-term health conditions.
My voice sounds so different.
You sound more Essex.
You think? I think I sound posher there than now.
No, there was something that was like, what did you say? I can't remember what you just said, but it was like, it had a little more of a twang. And it's like high pitch.
But my voice has always been like lower.
Maybe it's
so
the
it's
quality.
Weird for me. No, I don't think it is though, because we're not going to just watch this video. we're going to watch a couple of bits of vlogs as well, because I've watched them more recently, and it's not that I sit and watch my own vlogs. I showed Poppy.
Chronic illnesses, and I had to change my diet to fit in with those. So I started originally writing my blog as a way of getting interested in new recipes and learning how to eat a bit better, because I don't eat any gluten, any dairy, any refined sugar, all that stuff.
The refined sugar went out the window quick.
And your hair's so short.
It is, compared to now, look.
I think you almost look older there.
You think?
You look more like office lady.
I'll take it.
That's basically the reason I started my blog in the first place, to share some recipes and to get some new ideas. But then I started experiencing, different illnesses and how they affect people's lives, and I really wanted to share my story of how my diagnoses.
Diagnoses. Okay, we've learned that now.
We've
8
learned
years
that.
later.
It's funny that this all started. Look, I'm dropping back into it.
Yeah, it started.
It's so funny to me that this all started with, like, food, like sharing recipes.
Oh, is that what it? Is that what it?
Yeah,
really was?
literally at the start,
Okay.
kind of before the YouTube angle. My blog and my website, and you can still find them. They're still there if you go into the lifestyle tab on my new website. Because I didn't want to get rid of them because it felt like part of my story. So yeah, there's like gluten, dairy, and sugar-free recipes that are actually all really nice. But it's funny from going from there to where we are now. And like, yes, I still can't eat gluten and I still shouldn't eat dairy. But
Here we are.
but that's not kind of the soul of my life. I think that was like quite a focus early on because it was something that I could do to help manage some of my symptoms. Whereas now it's not. I'll still mention it occasionally, but it's not.
It's grown beyond that.
It's way beyond that. Way beyond that.
Anyway, I wanted to share how my diagnoses. I still don't know how to say it. How my diagnoses have affected my life and the journey that it took to get there. So this is basically just a little intro. Things I like scrapbooking, I like dog walking, I like cooking, of course, all my fancy new stuff. So this is basically...
Scrapbooking, I can't remember the last time I've done it. But I'm still crafty.
Yeah.
I'm still a crafty queen.
You cricket.
Yeah, exactly. Dog walking, I probably do less of that now, but I have my own dog now and I didn't then.
Wait, so you were walking other people's dogs?
Yeah, I was walking other people's dogs.
Oh.
So when I first left uni and came home and was awaiting surgery, which is where we're kind of at in my journey at this point, I signed up for Borrow My Doggy and walked other people's dogs as a way of kind of getting moving.
Wow.
And also to like spend my day doing something rather than just being at home. And I met a lovely dog called Molly, and I'm still in touch with her owner today because I love her so much. She's gorgeous. And then she had a little puppy sister called Poppy, so I looked after them both for a time while I was back and forth from uni as well. And then, yeah.
That's really cute.
I always wanted my own dog, and at this kind of period I thought I might be able to convince my mum, but I was going back to uni, so I couldn't.
It wasn't the time.
It wasn't the time. And now we have Coco Pup, who
the perfect
is causing mischief upstairs.
When I really don't feel like writing, to share with you about my life, about my experience with chronic invisible illness, and about some fun stuff as well. So I hope you enjoy it and I hope you watch. The reason why I've started a vlog, firstly, is because sometimes blogging and writing is really difficult for me because I just can't think straight and I don't have the energy to look at a computer for too long.
That's the ADHD.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
Oh, how little did little Jenny know. Go.
But 8 years ago, ADHD wasn't spoken about as much.
Yeah, this is true. I mean, none of it was. I was told all my conditions were rare at this point when, from the community I've created, you can see that they're not so rare.
Not so rare indeed.
Rarely understood is the phrase I like to use.
And I may find that with video editing, but we will see.
That's why I have it.
So I start vlogging, and I've never really been into it or looked into it. I'd done a couple of videos before with my friend Chad at uni for our radio show, but I'd never fully done it, so I thought, why not give it a shot? I wanted to do it now because it's coming up to Rare Disease Day on February the 28th, and I just wanted to spread some awareness a bit easier for my conditions. Now, the conditions I have, the first one is called postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Now, try saying that with a marsh...
It's still my party trick to try and say postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome as fast as humanly possible to really confuse people. Like like that.
That's impressive.
Thanks.
Well done.
Full of marshmallows. That didn't work very well, did it? Who'd have thought postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome was easier to say than mouthful of marshmallows?
Postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, mouthful of marshmallows. Maybe I've just got better.
Yeah, I think
is
you
called
have.
postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, or POTS.
Just
And
POTS.
basically, it's a form of dysautonomia, which
Dysautonomia.
basically means my autonomic nervous system doesn't work properly. So
How many times do I laugh at myself in this video?
A lot. But it's good. Was anyone there when you were filming this?
No.
No.
I didn't have a team like I have today. I didn't have anyone to laugh with me.
So would you just like film it
I
all?
can't regulate my temperature very
then
well. I
cut
can't
off.
regulate my heart rate very well, or my blood pressure. I take medication every day.
I mean, you can see there are
to
lots of cuts in
lower
this.
my
Yes.
heart rate and to
So I
boost my
definitely
blood pressure,
don't
so
think
I'm
I was
not
doing
falling
it
down
as
in the
well
pits.
as I do.
Though that doesn't stop it occasionally.
Yeah.
Showers are
Even
really
though that's
difficult. I
questionable,
can't put my hands
how
above
well
my
I do it
head. I can't like be standing up for too long. I get horrible blood pooling in my feet. Makes you really dizzy. Can sometimes make you feel sick. So I don't have any caffeine or anything like that. My other condition is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which basically means all my joints are too flexible and everything inside me is a bit too stretchy. So they think that's what's causing the POTS, because
Sorry.
my blood vessels are too stretchy. It causes a lot of pain, a lot of fatigue.
Pine.
I do physio exercises every day, but it's still
I wasn't even doing it then.
Why's she lying?
My joints can kind of pop in and out of place a bit. I creak like an old woman. It causes
Just proof.
tummy upsets and major bloating, and it's one of the main reasons why I changed my diet to help cut down the bloating and the irritable belly issues. And the final problem I have is something called a CSF leak, which basically means somewhere in my brain and spine there is a leak through something called the dura, which is like the layer that goes over your brain. It's leaking brain fluid, which causes horrendous headaches. I've had a headache for like the last 2 years, but once a month or so I get one of my screaming headaches, and I call them my screaming headaches because I'm literally screaming in pain, and not even morphine or any other big drug you can think of can calm it down. You just have to kind of fill up on water and lie down and hope it goes away eventually, which is really not nice for anyone involved. So yeah, that's just a bit about me, and I'm going to do a few more of these. Hopefully see you soon.
Do you still
Bye.
get those?
No. I obviously had no idea how to finish a video.
Yeah.
No, so that was almost hard for me to watch because I mean, it's me. I'm referring to her in the third person. It's something different, but I thankfully, must be the trauma of it, don't really remember how that feels. Yeah, so I'm very thankful to not really remember how those leak headaches felt. Because yeah, I had a headache all day, every day. Like I have a headache a lot of days now, but nowhere near as bad. It's just kind of underlying and to do with poor instability in my neck and POTS and just general chronic illness life. But those headaches were very different, and it took so long for me to have them taken seriously, and they were extreme, but I don't remember the actual feeling, whereas watching that I could see in my own face the memory of the feeling, if that makes sense. And obviously her feeling it in the moment. So basically what happened after that is that was the February. In the March I had my last blood patch. I'd had 2 already by this point, and a blood patch is basically an epidural in your spine. They inject your own blood into your spine. Don't ask me how they figured out that this helps, but it does. And it like irritates your spinal brain stuff and closes the leak. It helps your body realise there's a problem. I'm not really sure of the science, don't quote me on But yeah, I was very lucky that they worked, and touch wood, real wood, that I haven't had a recurrence of a leak, because quite a lot of people do. When I get a bad headache still, that's when I'll be like, oh crap, it's happening again. Like if I get a really, really, really bad one. But again, been a long time now, and yeah, haven't experienced that. So yeah. Let's find a snippet from a vlog. Or shall we look at my first ever hacks video?
Oh my god, yeah.
Because it was my second video ever.
Yeah, do it. This is what I like about videos, is that you can capture like a whole person, and then when you grow and you look back on it, it's like, wow, that's a whole...
It's a whole moment in time.
Yeah.
And I think that's what will be interesting. We'll do some more of these if you like them. Let us know in the comments. Because especially like vlogging during my uni days, I think now it'd be so interesting to look back on that, because I haven't watched those videos since I edited them in like 2019. Some of these older ones I have kind of watched because I've shown other people, like I've shown Ian or I've shown Poppy, or you know, whereas those ones, the vlogs, I haven't really gone back to, so I think that would be really interesting. But yeah, so this is my second ever video, and it's called 7 Things I Only Do Because of My Chronic Illness. But technically, it was my first ever hacks video of the things that I used to help me that I'd learned. And this was I'd only been diagnosed with EDS and POTS and a CSF leak like less than a year at this point. So let's see what I still use. I think pretty much most of them.
Hi guys, so Rare Disease Day is coming up on the 28th of February. So I wanted to do a video about my chronic illnesses, which are postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, otherwise known as POTS.
You can tell I love saying
it. And Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. Now, Rare Disease Day is all about raising awareness, and that's basically what I wanted to do by kind of giving you an insight into some of the things I only do because I have POTS and EDS. So the first thing that I only do because of POTS and EDS is take lots of medication. Now, this may seem like a pretty obvious one, but I don't think I even think about how much medication I take on a day-to-day basis. And compared to some people with my illnesses, I really don't take that much. There's this one, which is put my blood pressure up, because when I go from lying or sitting to standing, normally your blood pressure should allow for you to make that movement. But with my POTS, mine doesn't. I take 6 of those every day. So 2 half an hour before I get out of bed. That's why if I really need the toilet, I hit the floor when I get up. Half an hour before lunchtime, and 2 half an hour before dinner. This one is to lower my heart rate. So the main diagnostic criteria for POTS is that when you stand up...
It's wild that I've been on the same medications for 8 years. I was very lucky. A lot of people, it takes a bit of trial and error to get the right thing. But I had a very good doctor, and once we found the right dosage, they've been the right thing for my POTS.
As soon as I stood up, and as you can imagine, that's really, really hard to maintain, and that's why you get really, really tired. Vitamin D. For some reason, people with EDS seem, from my experience anyway, to have lower levels of vitamin D.
I was not taking it regularly then. I do now. I take it every day now, but I was not. Why is little me lying?
She's literally lying to the camera.
I could not take those. They were massive. They were like, I mean, not this big, but they were like this big. I could not take them. See, look.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
This is my Oral.
I only took that for my leak.
It really helps even then. But that's the thing about me, like at the minute where I'm still struggling with my diagnosis of EDS, like I'm not on any regular pain medication even though I'm in a lot of pain 24/7. So that's kind of an ongoing battle. The second thing I only do because...
I'm still not on any regular pain medication just because it doesn't really... I've tried a lot, but nothing really helps. But yeah, I still take all those things. Plus high dose antidepressants. Let's see what the second thing is.
Because I've got EDS and POTS, is own a hella load of supports. So I have a support for almost every joint in my body. And for the ones that I don't, I have K-tape. Now, you may be asking, why on earth did you pick the pink camouflage one? Because it was the cheapest.
Savvy. Savvy.
Well, I'm not very good at using it, but when I can use it, it's really, really helpful. Got my sexy compression stockings.
I'm so glad that I've found nicer versions of these things now. I have pretty compression socks. I can't really use KT tape because it messes with my skin these days. And I have better hip supports and shoulder supports. They were the only way that I could do princessing when we were, because we were princesses together, if people remember that period of my life, which is in vlogs.
Then I've got my back support. So loads and loads of supports. I've also got loads of like physio aids and like little stretchy things to do all my exercises.
Still have those.
So
I don't use them. I should.
Would it help if you did?
Probably.
Who's filming that?
It makes life so much easier.
I don't know if I had a selfie stick.
It's like, oh maybe.
I think it might be selfie stick era.
Right.
I still have my shower stool. Yeah.
Paraphernalia. Now you may ask, why the zebra? So basically, when medical professionals are going through their training, they're taught that when you hear hooves, think horses, not zebras. Which basically means you've got to look for the simplest answer to the problem and to the symptoms. But for EDS, there isn't a simple answer. So we call ourselves zebras. And
I didn't really explain that particularly well. What it actually means is like when you go to the doctor and you've got a cough, the doctor is like, okay, well, it's probably a cold or a chest infection. Because, it could be something really, really scary and really, really dangerous, or really, really rare, but the likelihood of it is so much less than a cold or a chest infection. So they're going to say, okay, well, let's treat this as a cold first and use all these things to help, home management techniques. And then if it's still bad, come back. Whereas when they look at people with chronic illnesses, they're doing that as well. They're not realising that people have potentially rarer, or not necessarily rare, as I say, I've kind of moved away from that, especially when it comes to EDS. It's just, or hypermobile EDS anyway, it's the rarely understood aspect. But I still do own zebra print. That was not on purpose. But I've definitely moved away from the zebra angle because I think it is more for people with very, very rare conditions. Yes, it's the sign of EDS, but I was zebra like obsessed, like everything was zebra, and it just got to a point where it didn't feel part of me anymore. And I think that happens with everything or most things in life. I think I'd clung on to it in the early days, whereas now I still acknowledge it and like it, you know, the socks, but I'm not like, I need every zebra thing in the world. I much prefer my, you know, purple, yellow,
your own brand,
cute, my own brand things. Yeah.
And we are medical zebras, but in being zebras, we have a lot of zebra stuff. So here I've got a bit of shiny zebra paper for my scrapbook.
What did I ever do with that?
I mean, it's quite
zebra
pretty.
stamp
I
set.
still have those stamps again.
And it's
I don't
got
think I ever actually
lots
really
of nice
used
little
them.
zebra
would you use
stamps. in
That's what I
there.
mean.
And then I have Zebedee.
Oh, that's cute.
I do have
This is
Zebedee.
Zebedee the zebra.
somewhere.
He's my little friend. He
Hope I hasn't eaten that one.
I've got a Stitch cuddly toy which follows me pretty much everywhere, but
I still
he's
have
quite
that
big.
too.
So when Stitch is too big, Zebedee comes along. He's my little charm. My boyfriend got him for me from ZSL London Zoo. So unless you have EDS, I guarantee you don't have that much
I'll
zebra
show
stuff.
Stitches.
Number 5 on the list of
I
things
will
you do
change.
because of EDS or POTS.
My hairdryer
is drying your hair
stand.
hands free.
Oh,
This was my first proper hack that like no one really knew about, and some people still don't. I don't have that one anymore because it broke. But
the next
I
thing
have
is what you
a
eat.
pet grooming
These
one now.
conditions are really sensitive,
which is
so
brilliant.
the
So,
tiniest thing can set them off.
Get a
So,
hairdryer stand.
Like,
that's so
if
funny
I
that
touched
was
caffeine, my heart rate would be through the roof.
8 years old.
And I'd be gone.
And it only died
caffeine
last year.
went
Poppy
straight
broke
away, as did the alcohol. Not that I was a big drinker anyway.
How did she break
Followed
it?
by
It fell and it
gluten
broke.
and dairy
Poppy was in the area.
Oh, okay, so she actually broke
No.
it. We're just blaming it on.
Vegetarian.
But it's very
Okay.
old
I pretty
plastic.
much
The
live
grippy
a
thing
vegan,
just broke.
We're lasting a long
gluten-free,
time.
It is.
sugar-free lifestyle. But it's all to help with this so that this doesn't go bloating out all over the place and make me feel really ill as well. And lastly, one of the things that I only do because I've got EDS and POTS is blog and vlog. So I only really started doing this because of my chronic illnesses, mainly for something to do. It's something that I've really enjoyed and want to keep doing. And yeah, basically, if I'd never been diagnosed, I never would have started doing all this in the first place.
I mean, she's
so,
right.
yeah, at least some good things come from this, right?
Yeah.
But remember, so Rare Disease Day is on the 28th of February, and it's just all
She
about
said
spreading
that.
The
awareness
editing is
of rare diseases and illnesses. So make sure you share this video, share other videos you're seeing, go
I learned
onto
how
the
to
My
finish a
team
video.
and share loads of their stuff. I'm a
Yeah.
contributor there. Get some awareness out. Obviously for POTS and EDS, but for any rare disease or illness that you know about, get sharing, spread the awareness, and let's raise some money while we can as well. EDS UK
Awareness.
and POTS UK, those great charities that are raising awareness in themselves and
How many times
obviously
did I say
help
awareness?
drink.
Drink.
Get involved, and thanks for watching.
Oh, bless her.
Oh, but it's weird because I wouldn't say that I only do this because of my chronic illnesses and disabilities now, but obviously it's a big part of my life, and I keep saying she. It feels like a different person. I was right in the fact that I only started this because of my chronic illnesses, but again, it's become so much more than that. You know, obviously over the years it's become a job, like a proper job, a proper business. And it's only been the last 3 years that I've been full time with Chronically Jenni, and 2023 doesn't count because I wasn't really working. So yeah, it's wild that now we have a team and we have like it's a proper little business, and we're like talking to big brands and working with big brands on content, and it's just, it seems so far removed from what I was doing there, but it's a hacks video.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing the same thing 8 years later. Like I feel very lucky to be able to do that, and I will keep sharing the same hacks like that hairdryer stand year after year after year after year, because there are people that still don't have one. So check the description, I will put the link, get one. Because it's very, very helpful, especially when you have ridiculously long hair like this.
Yes, exactly.
That was cute.
That was really cute.
Shall we do this more? Do let us know. And yeah, I wanna delve into some of the uni vlogs because I think that will be interesting.
I want to see some of those.
And let us know if there are any other like eras that maybe you weren't around for, maybe you weren't following me then, or maybe you vaguely remember and would like to have a bit of a reimagining of. Again, I mean, you can go back and watch all these videos yourselves, but I think it's really fun to get a perspective from 2025 me.
Yes, hindsight is a beautiful thing.
It is. So yeah, there's lots of me crying on the internet in those vlogs, so that could be interesting for me to watch.
Love that.
So yeah, coming soon. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and thank you for all the support over all these years. It's so lovely to have you. Do give this video a thumbs up if you've enjoyed it, and make sure you hit that subscribe button because we are trying to do weekly content. I know. Wild. Weekly content, haven't done it in years.
Yeah, we'll see.
But make sure you're subscribed so you can see. Thank you for watching. See you soon for another video. Bye.